Hi, my name is Kayla and I'm from California. So, about 2 years ago, my mom found Rebecca when I was in the middle of being very sick, and I don't remember very much of it at that time. So, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease at age 13. I was in an extreme fight or flight mode 24/7. I was barely sleeping, and then I would wake up and I would be completely exhausted to the point where I would brush my teeth and I was done for the day. I could barely walk or do anything with my body. I was barely living at that point. I was just laying in my bed 24/7, bed bound, in complete pain all the time. Like all layers of my body was in pain, and so many new random things would come up every single day, like throughout the hours, just random pains or just like either sending me to the hospital or just putting me in extreme pain where I can barely function. During the full moon, I would go into these attacks, these brain attacks, and I basically turned into Hulk. I call Hulk my alter ego. I would go out of my mind. I was like literally psycho, and I would like screaming uncontrollably in anger and like punching the walls and ripping stuff off the closet and just completely going out of my mind. Age 13, we started treatment with my doctor. I was doing home IVs for a long time and just every medicine under the sun. And then we went to Mexico. So when I was in Mexico for treatment, it was supposed to be a 6 week trip of 6 weeks of treatment. And like the second day in, I the I almost died. It very near death experience. My organs were shutting down. I had multiple organ failures. I lost my gallbladder and that whole thing. I was out for I don't even know how long. Um, that was a very life-changing trip. So the when we met with Rebecca for the one night intensive treatment ceremony, like all sounds, noises, movement, touch, everything was I was in complete overload like all the time. I couldn't go anywhere because it would send me into like a brain attack. Like I was also at the time walking with a cane. My breathing, it well, my whole life basically, I would have always had trouble breathing. Like I would breathe and it would never I was never able to take a full breath. For the one night intensive ceremony that we did with Rebecca, I had no idea what to expect. So during the ceremony, I was put into a space where my body just started healing itself. Well, I it was the first time that I started listening to myself and what my body has been trying to tell me this whole time. I had so much to release within me. I learned that all I needed to do was just trust myself and trust what I was receiving because I had always received those things, but I wasn't in a place to know what I was receiving or to know that I should be listening to what I was receiving. That was the first night I started actually like hearing things like very clearly. I think I always did hear my body, and my body was talking to me through all these pains that I was having throughout everywhere in my body. It was trying to tell me something, and I didn't know what that meant until that night when I realized that all those pains were almost there for a reason because it was my body trying to communicate with me as to what to do. Released my suffering and pain through following my movements and my breath, and following those is what um, took me out of the ego state I was in, holding into all that, believing that I needed to hold on to all of that. My body was like thanking me and like was like crying almost, because it was like, wow, she's actually listening to me for once. I can like almost like be the authentic me now, because we're connected now. It was like parts of me before were not talking to each other. And that night, everything was put into one. How I think about that night personally, I see it as the night I was actually born. I came alive that day, because I don't think I had never felt like that ever. Like that was the first time I felt real and awake in life. By the morning, I popped out of bed and I I felt completely healed. Like there was not 1 ounce of me left that was sick at all. Like I was 100% pure living. I was I woke up, I could feel my legs for the first time, and I felt like I was seeing things for the first time. Like I don't think I was ever really processing or seeing or anything. And that day I was feeling everything. I was completely healed that morning. My mom looks over at me and she's like, wow, I have never heard you breathe like that before. I was breathing like full body breaths. I was breathing through all the chakras, like up and down, like completely through. And it, I was breathing for the first time. I had never felt that before. The next morning, we went to breakfast and it was super loud and a bunch of stuff was going on and a lot of movement. There was light and sound, and I was wearing regular clothes, which I was not able to do before because of sensory problems. And I was completely fine. I was just sitting there in my own zone, just observing and just being a normal person. It was chronic Lyme. I really felt like if I never found, or if we never found Rebecca, or I never started doing all of this spiritual healing, I really think I was on my path to dying. Like I would have died very soon. If if I can heal from this, I definitely know it's possible for everybody. Before, I I mean, as I said, I was bedbound, I was walking with a cane and just unable to do anything but barely brush my teeth. And now I'm going on jogs. I could do the splits now. I'm doing the awake program. I'm doing high school now, which I haven't been able to do for the last 3 years. And now I'm doing everything. I can eat now. That was one of the other things. I was unable to eat so many foods. I had a very, very little diet of food I could eat. And now I can eat anything.